Income from capital gains under the Income Tax Act 1961. Now, before I actually get into the actual sections and all, I think it will be worthwhile if we just discuss first what basically are meant by capital gains, okay, and what is the relevance of this. Now, you studied about profits and gains of business and profession in detail in the previous lectures, right? There, what was happening was that, let's say there was an individual, he was regularly engaged in the purchase and sale of any regular item, okay? So let's say, for example, if a person manufactures soap or deodorant, okay, or he manufactures pencil, laptop, or any other item in which he is regularly engaged, he keeps on buying and selling it on a regular basis, that income is said to be arising to him out of his own business, right, and is therefore taxed under the head profits and gains of business and profession. Now, in order to tax an income under the head capital gains, what is necessary is that there should be a capital asset, right? Now, what do I mean by this? Let's say, for example, the same individual who is engaged in the purchase and sale of commodities bought some land, okay, to make a factory, right? He used some part of this land, and then because the balance was not required, so he sold off that land and he made some profits in this case. The profits which he makes is not something which he is regularly engaged in, because he is engaged in the manufacturing of soap, deodorant, pencil or laptop or any other thing, right? So the profits that he makes is said to be from a capital asset. It's not a stock in trade kind of a thing. If it is stock in trade, then it's not profits and gains, not a capital gain, but a profits and gains of business and profession. So let's say a person who is regularly engaged in the buying and selling of land itself, for him the profit will be profits and gains of business and profession. Whereas for a person who's engaged in manufacturing of something else, land is a capital asset. So when it is a capital asset, any transfer which results in any kind of profits, those incomes are taxed under the head capital gains, right? So that is the basic difference between capital gains and profits and gains of business and profession. Again, profits and gains of business and profession arises from something which a person regularly engages in. He regularly purchases and sells that thing, right? Capital gain arises because you purchase some asset which is not a part and parcel of your business, but basically you purchase it as a one-time item or a two-time item and you sell it. The same item, as I said, can be capital asset for one person and it can be a revenue item for the other. So land for a person who's engaged in this business is a capital asset, whereas for the person who's actually engaged in purchase and sale of land, it's a stock in trade, right? Now let us understand when does the chargeability to capital gain arises in case of a assessee. Let us now understand what is the basis of charge of a capital gain. So basically what I mean by this is, what are the conditions under which income is chargeable under the head capital gains. Now this is given in section 45 subsection 1, which means that this is the charging section, as is also called, right? Now, chargeability to tax. Any profits or gains arising from transfer of a capital asset shall be chargeable to income tax under the head capital gains in the previous year in which the transfer took place. So let's say, for example, again, just to visualize this thing, there is this person, okay, he sells an asset to another person, right, and he receives cash from him, right, and let's say the transaction took place during financial year 2011-2012. So let's say the date is March 1, 2012, right. Let's say this person bought this asset for 500 and he is selling it for 1000, right. So the difference is the capital gain, which is 500. Now there are certain mechanism relating to indexation and all, which I will be explaining to you as we move ahead in this presentation, but the idea is just to tell you that okay, there are some gains which are made by this person, right. With this background, let us see the definition. Any profits or gains. So when this person sold the asset, okay, he made these gains of 500, right. So any profits or gains arising from transfer. So when he sells the asset to the other person, when one person sells the asset to the other person, what is he doing? He is transferring his asset to the second person, right. Now transfer for income tax purposes is specifically defined in section 2 subsection 47, right, and we will see this definition as well of a capital asset. Now please note that the asset which is being transferred from this person, let's call him as A and this person as B. The asset which is the subject matter of transfer should be a capital asset. If it is stock in trade, as I told you in the previous slide as well, transfer of gains arising from stock in trade are chargeable under the head profits and gains of business and profession. So it has to be a capital asset. Again, capital asset also is defined for income tax purposes in section 2 subsection 14. So what are the conditions? There are profits and gains. These profits and gains arise from transfer. So there has to be a transfer. If you are just allowing him to use the capital asset and he is giving you some payment, that is not a transfer, right, of a capital asset. So what is given should be a capital asset. If it is stock in trade, it is profits and gains of business and profession. Shall be chargeable to income tax under the head capital gain. So once these conditions are satisfied, the income has to be necessarily taxed under the head income from capital gain in the previous year in which the transfer took place. So if the transfer took place during financial year 11-12, it will be taxed in this year only. There are some exceptions to this rule which we will see in detail in the subsequent slides, right. The only rider to this is once all these conditions are satisfied, the income has to be taxed under the head capital gains, right. The only rider is that such capital gain should not be exempt under section 54 and all these. There are certain sections under which you get exemptions, okay, for capital gain. So even though this amount, this gain would have been chargeable to tax, because there are specific exemption for certain specified category of asset, we will see if it falls there. If it falls there, then you get an exemption which you have to calculate as per these respective sections, right. So this is about basis of charge. Again, at the cost of repetition, if there are profits and gains which arise from transfer, mere use is not covered. You can write this down, okay, of a capital asset, stock in trade, not taxable under capital gain, right, shall be chargeable to income tax under the head capital gains. And when in the previous year in which the transfer took place, exceptions are there, exceptions discussed subsequently, right, and such capital gain should not be exempt from tax. If they are exempt, then basically you need to allow for that exemption if you satisfy all those conditions.